Hello, all you beautiful people in Webtown. Welcome back to Crypto Comics. I have something very unusual to show you here today. This is a comic book that comes as 90 trading cards. Johnson and Stroman, that is Todd Johnson and Larry Stroman, created a book at Image in 1993 called Tribe. And Tribe was white hot. They had only one issue of this stupid comic book. And there was a white variant cover, and then the black, I think it was the black cover was standard, and then the white variant cover was rare, and the white variant cover was going for like $50 at conventions. And all they ever did was that one issue before they left Image and started another company where they managed to eke out 2 more issues. And then finally they went to like, I think a third company and put out an issue number 0, which actually acted as an issue number 4. So you would have to read it as issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, and then issue 0 to get the story. But one of the things they did that was actually kind of unique, I don't think that they executed it properly at all with these cards, but this is Tribe, the intro. So this is basically an introduction in card form to Tribe. Tribe was a comic book about the adventures of a predominantly African-American and minority superhero group based in Brooklyn, New York. During its very short run, the plot of Tribe centered on their conflicts with a conglomerate of European and Japanese techno-pirates known as Europan, which had a mysterious connection to a power-crazed, armor-clad villain known as Lord Deus. The final issue also featured an appearance by Eric Larson's Savage Dragon, and even suggested an alternate origin for that character. Due to constant changes behind the scenes with Stroman and Johnson switching companies, Tribe's release schedule was inconsistent. Originally, Tribe's creators explained that Tribe was intended to grow to over 200 members. It was like the Wu-Tang clan of superhero groups. It was supposed to be a massive underground movement with dozens of heroes. But unfortunately, I think like a lot of creators who have recently come from the big two like DC and Marvel, these experienced creators don't know how to get a damn book out on time. It's ridiculous. It's outrageous. It's actually offensive. If I pre-order a book, I expect it to ship on time. And there's no excuse when you've been in the business for years. You know what it takes. You need to create a workflow. If you need to hire an inker, you need to hire a colorist, you need to hire a letterer. Do those things. Get your book out on time. That is the biggest complaint of comic book fans. That is the biggest complaint of shop owners. Ship your books on time. It's simple. So I digress. They created Tribe the Intro, and I'm just going to read this whole dang thing because why the hell not? Most people probably don't even know about this. New York, outside a European corporation warehouse. Witness an unusual employment line of sorts. They come from nationwide. This is the worst writing ever. I actually have to read that again to make sure that I spoke it correctly aloud. New York, outside a Europan corporation warehouse. Witness an unusual employment line of sorts. They come from nationwide. Brito, taped mouth, elbow 5, corn cob, onyx head, skull cap, and the wandering eyes. It's like Fat Albert and a gang showed up here. A rap sheet of wanted felons and criminal groupies. Last seen striking poses under a squad room camera. Victor Von G-Rock is unaccomplished in the role of employer. His power to drain wills normally leaves no room for negotiation. Please sign all the necessary paperwork and pass them to the front. It's just a formality, a safety waiver for our insurance company. Enough already. Let's get the show on the road. I need a gig. The rules are simple. The opening pays $1 million a year, and your choice of a car. This is a physical interview to test your varied abilities. Is that all? Man, in Chicago, I went toe-to-toe with the dragon once. Remarkable. And then you flip the page, and okay, so we just get art there. Just a little bit of art. That's great. A brief moment of paranoia brings silence to the empty room, but the suspense is short-lived. Greetings, fools. Who among you would best serve Lord Deus? Attack me and prove your worth in 5 seconds. A veritable smorgasbord of power is unleashed in a multiple barrage. First I-beams, then force bolts, next searing heat and mega jolts. It takes all of 3 seconds to exhaust their abilities, and to realize this was all an exercise in futility. You stopping Lord Deus? Oh, Jay Lee. There we go. I am not impressed. There is a brief moment of sudden panic. I think it's time to leave. While outside, blinding light and heat seep through every crack, and then silence. It's over. What? Does this have... Okay. I mean, sure. I don't know what that means over here. You know, is this part of the comic? Am I doing this right? Out of the smoke strides one lone figure, among the charred remains of so many public enemy hopefuls. I thought they'd never leave. How did you survive? I just left the room. Resourceful and amusing. I can use you. You've done well. Yeah, and you need new magazines in the bathroom. My gosh. Okay. Hey, you got lucky. Here, look, $100K up front. Your first job is to clean up this room. And as for your car, the lot's now filled with abandoned vehicles. Take your pick. Oh, and welcome to Europan. I guess. Okay. Another pinup, but I don't really know who these people are. Brooklyn. The lights burn late at Rumbleware, the fashion house and costume designer for the enhanced being in your life. Owner, Michelle Bird, is working overtime as usual, but not alone. Murdoch, pay attention. This is a low-security switching station. It serves as an uplink to all of Diamond's New York GEM subscribers. GEM? The Global Emergency Mainframe. You break their code, and you'll have your answers about Europan. Great. What else have you got for me? Some advice. These Diamond guys are not to be played with. Take one of these since you assisted with the basic design aspects. You know, you look quite scrumptious. Sure, I do. When you want something, as I was saying, it's state of the art. I call it Rumble Gear. Just got a reorder for some private outfit called the DL Group. If you're wondering what the gear in Rumble Gear stands for, General Energy Abating Rags. I like Rumble, and I like rags. Okay. You can tell Desmond the strontium alloy works like a charm. Energy dispersion is 94%. I'm thinking of... This is... Okay, so this is really, really poorly written. I just want to say that. You have a narrator up here, but all of a sudden, we have this woman talking, but it's in a narration box. Yet there's nothing that tells us that until you read it, and then it becomes clear. You can tell Desmond the strontium alloy works like a charm. Energy dispersion is 94%. I'm thinking of using it in next year's Youngblood designs. So what's the scoop on the crushed velvet? Don't push it. You already asked for too much. So now what do I get? So they're gonna hug, I guess? Okay. I don't know what it means. Do I have to keep reading this? I don't want to keep reading this. This isn't good. Okay, I'll keep reading it. Listen up, this is just an information run. Strictly in and out. Swift gets us in, Hannibal with me, and Rosalind behind for backup. Elias, turn down the radio and pay attention. Manhattan, near the GEM station. People sitting in the back of the van. Just so you understand, you got 15 minutes, and I'm out of here with a quickness. How long you think you'll take? Keep the camera on me, because I'm fast. Let's see, it's a 9-digit keypad with 36,000 possible combinations, 4 motion detectors to disable, and then the laser grid array. I'd say about 3 minutes, I'd figure. The door was open, which leaves you about 12. I'm 5,000 pretty. I even amaze myself at times. Let's do it. I'll keep an eye on the street. The setup seems simple enough. Hannibal, can you access the port and download encryption copies and read files? Yup. But it almost seems too easy. Meanwhile, at Diamond headquarters. Control, we have an unauthorized entry in the Brooklyn switching station. Infrared shows 2 unidentified, but biofilters monitor 1 life form. Request immediate strike team dispatch. Some stuff going on here. Is this part of this? It's got this same... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Just as I told Hannibal to pack it in, our private party received a trio of unexpected guests. And as Bird said, these guys are not to be played with. No threats or warning shots. Hannibal takes the first shot with no effect. The second hits me dead center, and the gear glows briefly. This suit disperses energy like a charm. Didn't feel a thing. I blink out, seeing no sense chancing a second hit. So I guess he can disappear? Hannibal can hold his own, while I get the others. I've got a Casper, switching to DSR. That's dynamic spatial reconstruction. So a Casper like a ghost. Get it? I get it. That's very clever. It's the first clever thing I've seen in this comic so far. Locked and ready to exercise. Don't know. Don't know how, but he's got me dead in his sights. Going my way? Rosalind, we could use a little interference here. Yeah, I'm on it. She does something, breaks the... This is part of the car, maybe? Oh, she picks the car up and throws it through the window. Okay. It takes all of 10 seconds and 2 tons of Detroit steel to see my simple plan and Hannibal go to pieces. But there will be time to contemplate strategy after we're safely away. Where's Hannibal? He caught a ride. Huh, get it? He caught a ride? Ha ha. Waka waka waka. There's a guy we don't know. Digital Chameleon Labs. 1 hour prior. Witness another escape of sorts. We've got a major problem up here. Alert internal security. Target is a Ditto prototype. An adaptive and dangerous experimental organism. Use only non-powered operatives. Ditto's imaging programs simulate enhanced abilities on contact. Under all circumstances, it is to be subdued with extreme prejudice. No! Oh no, that was a kid we just hit! Who will know? We'll blame it on that thing. Okay. Don't really understand what's happening here. Does this person have 2 heads? Return to base. This is getting way too public. Radio ahead and have them dispatch a specialist. The boy is hurt, but for this one to survive, sustenance is needed. Okay. Do you understand what's happening here, if you're watching this? Can you explain it to me in the comments below? What the heck just happened here? Do I have these backwards? I might have made it. Oh, no. 81. So then it goes. How the hell am I supposed to read this? That says to be continued. What's it say here? So we have some sort of a error? I guess maybe? Oh my gosh, these people and their inability to print a comic book in card form properly. I'll just read this part. Elias, I'll expect Hannibal to get back on his toes in a couple of days. Get Sebastian to help you. That's easy for you to say. 2 days? I ain't hardly Papa Geppetto. You tell Von Grock this is not what Capital had in mind when financing this project back at Digital Labs. Now just who is going to stop this thing without using enhancements it can duplicate? We share your concerns, Mr. Markley, and have hired an outside operative. Let's get started. That can't be who I think it is. In the flesh. To be continued. Oh my gosh, a guy we don't know just showed up, and they didn't even bother to say his friggin' name. Now let's, is this a little backup thing? What is this? The unit requires immediate energy source. Engage full range signature sweep. Guys, anybody care to tell me who this is? Drive on, we've got problems of our own. Store Month, hold your fire. Store Month? What kind of a name is Store Month? I've got their place scanned and requested a shelter clean up. Prepare to jaunt. Let them think this is over, and when they least expect it... What the hell? It doesn't continue? Okay, I get it. Let them think this is over, and when they least expect it... Bum, bum, bum. Speed was briefly increased tenfold since brief contact with occupant of vehicle save visuals to... Oh my gosh. Speed was briefly increased tenfold since brief contact with occupant of vehicle. Save visuals to memory. This unit requires system shutdown. Error in internal read files. Input discharge for retry. And then a little boy comes out of him. He's goop, and a little kid comes out of him. I mean, am I crazy, or is, like, this is... What the hell? I think... Does it go from here to here? And then we're supposed to go back to here? I have no idea what is happening here anymore. These are 73 through 81. This is 82 through 90. I got no clue. And that tells you everything you need to know about the guys who ran Tribe. And why they made a lot of money off that first issue, but ultimately failed as independent comic book creators because they didn't have their shit together enough to even make this card set interesting. Like, this is a pretty cutting edge idea. The first mistake they made with this was putting these black borders around every single panel, because they could have drawn this bigger. Like, you know, when we go back, remember the Savage Dragon? This happens to be in here. Like, see how he did this? You could be doing stuff like this. You could have splash pages in here. You could do all sorts of stuff. Unfortunately, this is just, you know, a crappy book nobody cared much about, by creators who didn't really have the dedication and commitment to their fans that is required of good comic book creators who want to be successful in the long term. These guys made a fortune on issue number 1. They put these out. I don't know if they made any money on this. You can buy an unopened box of these for like $10 on eBay now. But I'm not impressed with this. I love the idea. The concept is great. I think maybe it would have been better if... What if it would have been like just, you know, 2-page spreads and splash pages? And maybe, you know, they could have had panels here. They could have done a panel here, and a panel here, a panel here. Like, you could have done so much more with this concept. It's an awesome concept. It's a terrible execution. I don't know what to say about the color palette in this either. It's a joke. Maybe that's the best way to describe this. It's a joke. The pinup art on this side of the page is sometimes confusing, especially here, where it seems like it's part of the comic, but it's not. And they basically screwed the pooch on this whole thing. They're showing us characters. They're not putting the name of the character. We don't know who it is. We don't know why we should care. Look at this terrible color palette. Is this not just a joke? So there you go. This is the Tribe trading card set. I don't know what to say. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a good concept. You know, maybe you'll have a talented creator out there on Indiegogo or Kickstarter who creates a character that resonates with people, and they decide to take a risk like this because this is a risk worth taking. Like, see, this is good. This is good. This all goes together, but they have these black borders, so you think that it's each an individual panel, and they shouldn't have done that. That was a big mistake. I can't believe the execution on this was so bad from guys who were professionals. And it seems like that's a theme that I've noticed in independent comics is when you have mainstream creators who leave Marvel and DC and they try to do something independently, they might make a lot of money, but they certainly do not take care of the fans that paid them that money. They seem to just be in it to make a quick buck, and they don't give a crap about delivering appropriately, delivering something that's worth the money. And all in all, this is a disappointment, you know? This is a disappointment. I could mention a lot of other disappointments that I still see in independent comics today, but I'll let you tell me what you think the biggest disappointment in independent comics today is. I would say this is one from the 1990s that was huge, a huge joke. So, thanks for watching, and I look forward to talking to you again in the near future about more cards and more comic books from the 20th century, right here on Crypto Comics.
Legends of the Lone Wolf. 80-page full-color anthology. With your support, we will bring you a perfect-bound 80-page book of the highest quality. Everyone involved has donated their time and talent, and all the money will go to printing and shipping before any of the creators turn a profit. Unlike other anthology books, Legends of the Lone Wolf contains a 38-page feature-length supernatural story. That's nearly twice the size of a regular comic book. This campaign is the only way to get the variant-aged edition of Lone Wolf's #1. This highly unique version of our first issue will be printed on a stunning aged newsprint and features a cover by the one and the only Muttman. So don't sit on your hands, Wolfomaniacs. You're gonna have to get out there and grab a copy for yourself. Oh yeah! Dig it!